about starting up the computer and shutting down the computer. In this topic, we're expected to know the steps by which we can use to start the computer and also the steps to shut down the computer. These are pretty easy steps one can use to start up the computer, and we can use to shut down the computer. I know some of you in your houses, you have your television, you do put it on and put it off. The same thing with the computer, we can put the computer on and we can also put the computer off. It's very easy to do that. Okay, now in computing, we don't normally prefer the word. The technical word for putting on the computer is simply booting. The technical word for putting on the computer is simply what? Booting. Now, so what is booting? When we start up our computer, we've taken an action which is called booting. So booting can simply be said to be switching on the computer. Switching on the computer is called what? Booting. Switching on the computer is called what? Booting. So anytime I switch on the computer, I have boot my computer. If I want to ask you to switch on the computer, I can tell you, Peter, boot the computer. Carol, boot the computer. Adi, boot the computer. Ishan, boot the computer. When I do this, I'm giving you an instruction for you to boot the what? The computer. Now, you might really not know how to boot the computer, but in this class we'll learn about how to boot the computer. It's very easy. Okay, now let's see the steps by which we can use in booting the computer. The first step is to do what? Switch on the main power. Our first step will switch on the main power. I know this is not new. You've been seeing this switch on the wall. Okay, so you switch on the main power. That is the first step. The second step is to do what? Switch on the UPS. Switch on the UPS. Okay. The third step is to switch on the CPU. Now the CPU machine, the system unit, it has a power button. Once we press this power button, we're able to switch on the CPU. Then the last step, the fourth step, is to do what? Switch on the monitor. Switch on the monitor. So we have switch on the main power, switch on the UPS, switch on the CPU, and switch on the monitor. If we follow these steps accordingly and accurately without missing any point, we will be able to put on our computer. We will be able to boot our computer. So it's very easy booting your computer. Okay, now these steps are mostly for desktop computers, but for laptop computers, we just power button on the handrest, the power button on the handrest of the laptop. Once you press the power button, it will put on your computer for you. It will boot your computer. Okay, so I know most computer labs, they have desktop computers, so that's why I choose to use these what? Steps. Now there is something unique about the computer. Once you boot the computer, it displays a screen that appears on the monitor. So the screen that appears on the monitor is called what? A desktop. It's called what? A desktop. Please don't mistake the desktop for your desktop computer, though they have the same name. Okay, the desktop is actually a desk that has files, just like you have the receptionist. Okay, you have the receptionist in the school, or you have the receptionist in the office. On the receptionist desk, the receptionist has so many files and folders that is being placed on the desk. So that's why they decide to call it the desktop, because the first screen you see once you boot your computer is called the desktop. On the desktop, you can have so many files, icons, folders that are placed on the desktop. So note that the screen that appears on the monitor is called the desktop. Okay, I would like you to see my own desktop. Now when I boot my computer, this is my desktop. You can see my desktop. My desktop is having